you've got perks on your credit cards you've probably never touched. And beyond the points and miles, there's real hidden value there waiting to be unlocked. From hotel upgrades to stacking discounts on everyday purchases to even getting money back when your flight price drops, most people ignore these perks and leave serious money on the table. So in this video, we'll break down 10 underrated credit card perks to help you travel better, save more, and squeeze more value from the cards you already have. Starting with one that surprises most people, a lot of the perks on your cards, the ones you see advertised and even the ones that are not, don't actually come from the issuers like Chase or Capital One. Take the two Chase Sapphire cards, for example. On the surface, there's the obvious preferred versus reserve difference. But another thing that separates them is what's printed in the corner. One is a Visa Signature and the other is a Visa Infinite card. The same is true on the MasterCard side, with World, World Elite, and the newest World Legend tiers. These are card networks, the ones actually charging those swipe fees, but are also the ones powering many of the perks you might think are coming from your bank. Things like extended warranty, auto collision damage waivers, return protection, travel protections. Now it is up to the issuers though to decide which perks to actually include on their cards, which is why you might see cards like the Capital One Quicksilver, which is technically a World Elite card, but without most of the benefits you may expect. On that front, Visa tends to be a bit more consistent. That said, there are some hidden gems. One that I only recently found is through GigsGuide, where with an eligible Visa card, you can get 3 gigs of data across 15 days or 1 gig on the signature cards across over 175 different countries. And from data points online, it seems like you can use this perk on multiple cards more than once as long as they're far apart enough. Considering international data can cost you $10, $20, $30 every trip, those savings can add up quick. On the MasterCard side, they've also been wrapping up perks as well, like priority dining reservations and entertainment access, to fast-track security lines at select airports, and soon exclusive dining spaces, which will be interesting to see. The new World Legend tier also introduces a bundle of credits meant to close the gap with the likes of Visa Infinite. And both networks run their own hotel collections too, offering perks like best available rates, automatic upgrades when available, dining or room credits, complimentary nights, and even golf benefits. They aren't flashy like major welcome bonuses or hundreds of dollars in credits, but if you take some time to understand all of the benefits that your card network unlocks, they add up to real repeatable value year after year. And speaking of hotel collections, it's not just the networks. Although those are the most accessible to most people, issuers themselves also have their own hotel collections, typically more premium and with even bigger perks. And with one of them, they're rumored to triple the existing benefit you get on one of their cards later this year. These programs are curated collections of luxury leading properties that unlock elite style perks without holding elite status. Things like daily breakfast for 2, upgrades when available, better check-in and out times, property credit, and more, just like on Chase's The Edit collection. The kicker here is in how benefits stack. With the Sapphire Reserve card, you can use that $500 The Edit credit split $250 every 6 months, or the $300 travel credit, which some data points say that they stack. And because these credits are given back as statement credits, you'll still earn those 8 times points for the original purchase. Citi has a similar program with their Reserve collection, offering a higher 12 times points on hotels booked through their portal, and that $300 credit on hotel stays of 2 nights or more with the Strata Elite. Capital One's Premier collection also mirrors a lot of these perks, but with 10 times points on hotels and then using that $300 credit through their portal, which right now is layered with an extra 4th night free benefit, which itself could be worth hundreds. But my personal favorite remains the Fine Hotels and Resorts or the Hotel Collection through my Amex Platinum card. Yes, you'll only earn 5 times points when booking through that route, but they do have the widest selection across the world from what I've seen. Whether it's Vegas, Hawaii, or other cities abroad, I've consistently found good options. Not just with the standard perks like potential upgrade, breakfast credit, and property credit, but also bonus benefits like extra credits, free nights, or special discounts. But here's where things get interesting. Along with the rumored annual fee increase on the Platinum card from $695 to $895, the FHR credit may actually triple from $200 to $600, split $300 every 6 months. If that's true, anyone using just this perk alone will already more than offset offset that annual fee increase. Bottom line, don't underestimate these hotel collections. Of course, always compare with prices on Google or third-party sites, but if the rates are the same or just a bit more, the credits, perks, and bonus points you get could still make that booking a no-brainer. Now, these travel portals are not just about booking these hotel collections. They also come with other perks that can save some serious money. In fact, on one of my upcoming trips, I've saved around $1,000 on each of my 3 tickets booking through a travel portal compared to the best prices I can find anywhere else. But first, a portal that's seen a major shakeup earlier this year with Chase Travel, where they got rid of the 1.25 or 1.5 cents per point static value you can get redeeming Chase points. Although technically, if you're grandfathered in, you can still redeem at that rate, but for anyone new, no longer. Now there's Points Boost, where you can get up to 2 cents per point on your redemptions there. And although it's more advertised towards premium flights and stays, I have seen Points Boost on economy flights as well. Here's the kicker though, although you're redeeming your points, Chase is actually still booking you as a cash booking. That means you'll still earn loyalty miles, credits towards status using your status, all of which will just stack the value that much higher. Other issuers have their own twists on travel portals as well, with Capital One offering price predictions and price drop protections on select bookings, where I've personally received over $100 back from this feature alone, given it can refund up to $50 per fare if it drops within a certain window. And then there's Amex Travel, where I've personally saved the most. For later this year, I needed 3 separate tickets from Taiwan all the way down to Australia. But every fare I could find in business class was upwards of $2,000. I'd be traveling with my parents, so I wanted to piece together the best trip possible. And it wasn't until checking the Amex Travel portal where I found fares on Singapore Airlines for only $1,152 each, saving around $1,000 per ticket while still flying a world-class airline. All because of the international airlines program that Amex has with their travel portal, giving discounts on cabins premium economy and above on some of the world's best airlines. So whether it's steep discounts, using points for cash-like bookings, or automatic price drop protection, using portals is more than just another booking site. If rates are close to what you'd find elsewhere, the extra perks and stacking opportunities can easily tip the scale. Alright, when most people think about credit card protections, it's the usual suspects: trip delay or cancellation insurance, baggage insurance, rental cars, extended warranty, purchase protection, all valuable but also pretty widely known. Digging a little deeper though reveals some differences you may not realize. For example, I always pay my taxes and fees when booking award flights with my Sapphire Preferred. Why? Because some of Chase's travel protections kick in just by covering part of the fare, not the entire fare, which some other issuers require. So check the fine print, or you might think you're covered when you're actually not. Speaking of delays, if you fly domestically a lot, the new Atmos Summit card has a perk I've never seen before: an instant $50 travel credit if your Alaska flight is cancelled or delayed for more than just 2 hours. Compared to the typical 6-hour requirement on most cards, this is a huge quality of life perk. If you're in an Alaska hub or fly with them often, it can really add up. On the shopping side, one of my favorite perks is return protection. But again, not all return protection is the same. As a deal seeker, personally, I've used my Amex Platinum's return protection multiple times to get money back when purchasing things on final sales that just didn't fit right, up to $300 per item or $1,000 per year. And in all of my experiences, Amex has never actually asked to send the item back. Taking it a step further, the Sapphire Reserve's return protection actually covers up to $500 per item, although the same yearly limit. Of course, you want to watch out for exclusions like jewelry, items outside the US, or anything else that's just ineligible. But when it works, this perk alone could also save you hundreds. Another perk that could save you hundreds every year, but most don't even talk about, are credit card offers. These are targeted deals you'll find from your issuers that give you savings on everyday or splurge purchases. Yes, sometimes it's just a few dollars, which may or may not be worth your time and effort, but in other cases could be tens or hundreds of dollars when used and layered properly. Take Chase offers for example. I have access to them, but most of the time, the amount saved is just a bit too low. Maybe $10 here, $15 there. Over the years, I've only saved just under $100. Compare that to Amex offers, where the merchants align much better to where I typically spend, and the credits are just more meaningful. Over time, time, I've saved over $700 on Amex offers alone. The trick here though is understanding that a lot of these offers are given as statement credits after the purchase has hit your card. That means when you're purchasing, you could also stack with other cashback portals like Rakuten to get even more value back. It just happens to work extra well with Amex, given you can cash out your Rakuten cash back towards Amex points at 1 cent per point. And because I value my Amex MR points higher, closer to 2 cents per point, that's a trade I always take. Say you're spending $1,000 at Sleep Number, then with Rakuten you're getting 4% or 4 times MR points. You'd both trigger that $200 offer from Amex offers as well as earn you 4,000 MR points. At 2 cents per point, that could be worth a value of $80 extra for a total savings of $280. Do that a few times a year and again you're getting hundreds of dollars in value on things you would have been buying anyways. The downside though is that some issuers like Capital One have a lot of their offers as shopping links, which means you wouldn't be able to stack on other links like Rakuten, unfortunately. Now, we all know that some cards have elite statuses that help elevate your travel experience. The Amex Platinum card has Hilton and Marriott Gold, the Sapphire Reserve has IHG One Platinum Elite, the Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant bumps you all the way to Marriott Platinum, and the Venture X gives you Hertz President Circle. But what people often miss is that some of these statuses match into other statuses. For example, Hertz President Circle, you can match over to many of the other car rental companies' top tier status, like Enterprise Plus Platinum or National Executive Elite, giving you more variety to choose from. Maybe you're deep into Marriott and you've climbed all the way up to Titanium status. There, you can match over to United Premier Silver, giving you free checked bags, or access to Economy Plus for more legroom. Even smaller bumps could matter if you travel a lot, like Aeroplan 25K status from the Chase Aeroplan card, which maps over to Star Alliance Silver, letting you board early on partners like United, which can technically be had with some United cards as well. But speaking of cards, if you tend to fly with a certain airline a lot, just by holding certain credit cards, you can be bumped up on the priority list for upgrades, like the Delta Reserve giving you a mid-pack boost, or can move you higher within your existing status tier, and the new Atmos Summit card does the same, slotting you above those corporate travelers, even if you're not top tier elite. Again, many of these extras individually may not be that much, but we're already 6 tips in, and if even just a couple of these give you extra value, that may already be worth it. And we're not done yet, because beyond all that, the next few perks are a bit more niche, but equally valuable most don't even know exist. Special access, programs like American Express Experiences, MasterCard Priceless, Visa Infinite Experiences, Chase Sapphire, all these issuers and networks provide some sort of special access to certain events and shows. Special access to stadiums, merch and cash back with Amex and Coachella, and special experiences like with Amex and Chase Sapphire at the US Open, to name a few. These brands want to live where the culture happens, and the more people that share their experiences at these events, the more they get free marketing to their ideal audience, a win-win. Then there's lowering annual fees. Active duty members can get their fee waived. Having an Amex corporate card can then reduce the annual fee on your Amex personal cards up to $150 like on the Amex Platinum. And even retention offers can dampen the cost if you share that you have a hard time justifying that cost in the next year. But your mileage may vary on that one. Then also don't forget about referral bonuses, which can net you 10-20,000 points and take a big chunk out of that next annual fee. If you're already spending effort explaining or recommending cards to your family and friends, you may as well get a small kickback from it. As always, thank you for using the links down below to support the channel. Of course, only if the offer is competitive, but again, thank you. Next, maybe you want to share your perks. Authorized users is a great way to extend those benefits if the math checks out. Given adding authorized users on many of these cards can cost you $100-$200 each, you'll want to see if it's worth the extra TSA pre-check or global entry credit, certain lounge access, statuses, or travel protections. The Venture X used to be the best tier with its 4 free authorized users who would then get their own lounge access, but starting February 1st, 2026, that's no more. They'll have to pay their own $125 a year to activate that perk. Still a bit useful, but definitely not the no-brainer it was before. Though on top of all of that, by far the most outsized value you can get from your credit cards is if you're using those hard-earned points in the right way. ways, which is trickier than it sounds. For example, did you remember to check transfer bonuses, where you can get 20, 30, 40% bonuses, which will reduce the points you actually need to make your booking? If there are point sales, do you know if it's worth it to actually purchase points to top up instead of transferring more points? Or even which issuers you should be transferring points from, especially if they all transfer to a common currency like Flying Blue. Do you know which one has higher value? These tips and more are the kinds of things I've learned redeeming over 2 million miles over the last few years at values of 2, 3, even 4 cents per point. So check out this video here for a step-by-step playbook breaking it all down, and I'll see you over there.